Hello and welcome to episode 19 of our Timberborn Update 5 Iron Teeth Mega Build playthrough here in Cycle 28, Day 4. Last time we did a little bit more design work with our pump corners and finally got this second ring more or less done when it comes to our mangrove fruit harvesting areas and our oak tree farms. There's still some more stuff we have to do here in the second tier. I got some bridges that are not quite finished, waiting on various parts, including the metal blocks, and a number of other small things to take care of, little fixes to make, pathing stuff to mess with, so on and so forth. But today we have a problem to resolve, and that is the incredible lag that occurs when we place or remove a piece of path, or even click on a path sometimes. And that's because this entire map is still a single district, and that is not something that makes the game or my computer very happy, so we do have to fix that. But I figured if we're going to go ahead and split into districts, because that's already a pain, well, it's not as much of a pain as it used to be, but because that is so involved, let's go ahead and just start doing bots now, so that when we make new districts, we can just make all the new districts bots. We don't have to worry about moving food or water or whatever. They just have to have power, and they will keep going forever and ever and ever. So, to that end, we will be turning this area into the first bot-only district, and to do that, we have to have infrastructure in place to produce and maintain bots, and part of that is having the supplies that we need to construct them in the first place. We already have some of it. We have some logs, we've got planks, and we got, well, we don't have a lot of metal, but we have this area set up in a way that will use metal stuff. And one of the things we really need to do is prioritize all these smelters by haulers, as a couple of you pointed out in the comments of the last video, because these guys cannot get anything done because they have to walk halfway across creation to get access to everything. So we are just going to prioritize all of this and get all of this metal in, because we do have a good access right here to have some nice some metal here. We have this corner, then we have this corner as well. That's when we picked completely clean and started growing some trees in for the purpose of getting some of our pine resin, which will allow us to take this area and make it more of a farming thing, and then eventually move all of this into be farming, and so on and so forth. We've got a lot of farming to do, a lot of everything to do, honestly, as we keep going here. So let's go ahead and turn on turbo mode. Let these guys do what they want to do, and we will get to work over here. So now that these are prioritized by haulers, that should help substantially. We do still need to really massively inventory a whole bunch of stuff down here for us to actually start producing bots. We do have the bad water. We do have the extract. What we haven't started making for the bots yet is grease, which is, of course, has to be made in the grease factory and uses canola oil and extract to create grease. It helps make the bots work faster, smoother, etc., whatever have you. And then we also have control towers that use science to make the bots work faster, and we'll be doing all of that. We just have to first actually make bots, and we're not going to be able to do that until we have all the resources we need, which is one of the reasons why I got these smelters prioritized by haulers and started to fill all of this stuff up when we did, because that is going to be quite the ordeal to get this all taken care of. We're going to have to figure it out, and it's going to be something that takes us quite a while to do, but it's something we really need to do, and fast, which is part of the reason why I left these guys here. These aren't prioritized by haulers either, in case you were curious, but we will go ahead and tick those, get that going like it's supposed to be, and so on and so forth. We do have enough beavers to run a bunch of this stuff as haulers, but we don't have enough to run everything at the same time. That's why we have 34 vacancies. But we kind of planned for that with how these are set up, these inventor huts. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, since we have so much science, we have like 42,000 science, we're going to go down to our inventor's huts, and we are going to, first of all, find the inventor's huts. There we go. Yeah, we got a lot of these things. We're going to make all of these the lowest possible priority, because again, we have tons of science, and that should not be a big deal at all. Just get these guys to go do whatever else it is they need to do. Because, again, we have 26 of these things. We don't need to be trapping beavers in here. So that will help us fill in a couple of our other jobs. And as the beaver's quality of life increases, they will live a little longer when they have that average, I think it's, what, 37? Let's click on this guy. Oh, you seem tired, Gary. But you already have the plus 60% buff for 27. 37, it goes to plus 80%, and that's really not too far away, it looks like, for Gary here. Could use the benefit of campfires and rooftop terraces, as well as some of this aesthetic stuff we haven't gotten into yet. But it's not going to be too hard to get the well-being of the beavers up, especially once they pretty much only exist up here and are able to take advantage of all of that stuff. So we're probably not going to focus too much on stuff up here today, just because this is already kind of working as it is, and we just have some other stuff that we should get to. The only thing we might need to do when we start getting into bot production is move some of our canola oil down there, but that is not to make the bots, that's just to have them operate in the efficiency that we want them to. So this is probably fine. We just need to come down here and start actually making progress on producing the bots. So we have our 3 explosives factories right here. Honestly, that's probably enough for right now. We're not going to be blowing up half the map. We've already done most of the detonation we're going to need to do. I mean, we are going to need a couple hundred more dynamite just to copy this 3 more times, should we decide we actually need to do that. And then there's a little bit of exploding in the corners we have to do. But again, that's not a huge priority right now because everything currently is operating at some degree of efficiency that I think is acceptable. We're not running out of food. We're not running out of water. We might be running out of sanity, but that's unrelated. I digress. Let's go ahead and get stuff set up here. If we're going to have bots, we need everything to be accessible supply-wise. So like I said, we have planks, we have logs, we have metal over here. I'm not worried about them going over to get that. But if we take a look at our science for our bot part factories, we also need gears, which we currently only have storage of on the top level. So we are going to need to make a large warehouse, at least one large warehouse for the gears. I will put here. We'll go ahead and shove our gears in there. And then we probably should have... I'm just putting this here because this is here. That does not mean this is going to be like this forever. I'm just trying to get something set up and have it be something that makes sense. So I will put another one here. If we take a look at our bots, the only thing that needs to go in the actual storage that's not like a pile would be the gears. However, there are other things to consider, like storing the bot parts themselves and other things that would want to be used to make all of that. So I don't think it's a bad idea to have a bunch of storage for things down here that we might want. Probably also does not hurt to have food storage down here. And that's what I was going to do, is put some food option here. Probably one of the more refined ones. I see we have a whole lot of eggplant rations. That's just slam full. And we have a ton of eggplant. So guess what? We're going to have eggplant rations. It's Eggplant City down here. So we'll just have that set to obtain there. And we'll mark that as prioritized by haulers to get that taken care of and make our way to everything else. And also probably would be a smart idea to have some sort of storage for water here, since we have so many stinking beavers. So they probably are stinky because they're not showering, because they've got no time. I was going to put just a couple of these right here, just because that's a nice convenient place that's close to everything. Set that to hold some water. Yes, I know they're the smaller ones, or medium-sized ones, not the huge ones, but it fits in that spot, and that is a pretty short distance for haulers to come from, say, someplace like right around here to do everything else. So, yeah, we're already making progress here, getting eggplant rations. Let's make that prioritized. Make that prioritized. Now, I'm not going to have a huge, necessarily huge storage of all of our other stuff here. I just need to have somewhere where they can take these things that we need to use to make the bots. So again, it's all planks, it's all metal, and it's all gears. So we are going to have those things here as well, just because we have to have somewhere on this half of the setup over here. So we will just do this. We already got the logs, we got planks. I will have one more for planks. Then I'm going to have these two for metal blocks just on this side. And then for good measure, I will just go ahead and have one more for logs, because I know we're going to have logs to build other things. Like right here, we don't need them for the bot part factories, but we will for all the other infrastructure that we're going to be doing, like Powershafts and all the platforms and everything. So now what we got to do is we got to build the actual factories. We can unlock them with the science, if I can actually do it correctly. And then we have to decide how this is going to be set up. We can stack these on top of things, but then the power is not going to be communicated. So the thing we probably want to do actually is to have this be connected on the other side with something else. And we could actually, depending on how we want to do this, we could do some other things that are like maybe the 2 wide right here. We do have the option to do oil presses if we want to make our canola oil down here for doing grease. I don't think we need to worry about that right now. So we're probably, honestly, just going to have this set up with a set of power shafts, just so we can have some sort of going across here. And of course, we have to have our pathway like so. And if I do it like this, then I leave room on this side to put in a couple more of those other buildings, should we so choose. And then I can come right over here. And I can, yeah, now they're going to come in here and get rid of these berry bushes finally. And I believe they can take power on the front here. I will verify that real quick before I get too ahead of myself. Yes, they can. Okay, good. Because that would be not fun if I find out that I can't do that after waiting all this time to get that done. But I digress. Let's go ahead and put in a couple of these guys. We'll start with 2 because I can't put another one next to it. Now I can actually do that. So we got 3 here. We got bot chassis, we got bot limbs, we got bot heads. As long as they are supplied, I know this is always a debate every single time we do this. As long as they are supplied equally, they will produce enough to make one bot, and the same amount of time. You don't have to have multiples, but we know that's not how it works in actuality, because something always comes up just before the debate starts in the comments, because it always does. You don't have to have more factories for the limbs. You just have to make sure you have the stuff supplied, in theory. All the math adds up. I'm not that dumb. I am a little dumb, but I'm not that dumb. So, that being said, we do have space here for 6, and I will be eventually running 6 of these just in a nice, neat row like this. We have our bot heads here. We have our bot heads here, and then I'll put limbs here just because I can, and that's how that's always set up. But they will take different things. We just have to make sure everything's accessible, and it's not going to be an issue. Not that far of a distance to get stuff in here. So actually, oh, you know what I should have done is I still can. There's no rule that says the dog can't play basketball. There's no rule that says I don't have to do it this way. Or have to do it another way. We'll just put the gears over there because that's going to be easier to access for the other guys over there. And then whatever was over there, I actually don't remember. I think that was logs. I can just go over here. Yeah, so we obviously want them to finish this first, and they have. They're going to start making the chassis. Hey, Steve. I don't know which Steve it is, but one of our Steves is in here working, making bot parts, and that should be all sorts of good fun. So the other fun thing is, now that we have well, in theory, 6 of these, we can technically, depending on how you want to look at it, support 4 bot assemblers, which we can just put right on top and make it nice and clean, nice and easy for everything. But we don't have the, well, I guess we do technically have the resources. We're just not making the metal quite fast enough because of how all this stuff is set up. But it is working. We are working on it. We just don't have the scrap metal volume that we necessarily need. So the only way to solve that problem is to come in here with some additional scavenger flags, and I'll just put another 4 in, and that should be okay. Make sure that's set to prioritize, and then there we go. Same kind of deal. Eventually we should start making all sorts of fun stuff over here, so on and so forth. We are going to want to have a buffer for our parts here, especially the limbs. So what we can do with this space, at least temporarily, we can come in here with a medium warehouse. I'll probably just do the limbs to start because that always ends up being the whole thing. Because these can only store 12. And you need 4 per bot. So this can only ever store enough for 3 bots at once. We want to have a little bit of an overflow. So we'll just put that right there so they have access to it. And then, oh yeah, I love that lag. Let's get this going sooner rather than later so we don't have to worry about this quite as much. But now we do have 3 of these all making components, well, until they can't actually get the parts. That should be fine. So I will go ahead, even though we are not going to have them operating for quite some time, I will go ahead and build right now, for right now, just the one. And what we will do is we will get our pathing set up here. I am going to, since this is already set up like this to have this second level here, I will go ahead and have this go all the way out, put a path on top of it, and then put another level on top of that so we can make good use of our storage space here. And I will put a medium warehouse right here, and I think probably would be smart for us to have the chassis right here. And then what I will do is I have space underneath here for right now. We don't have anything. We can always rip this out later, but I will put platform here because guess what I can put right here? That's right. It's another storage. And we can put heads. So now we're going to have storage for everything right here next to a ladder. That is going to get us up into this thing nice and easily. And that should substantially help out what we've got going on here. They can start making bots. And then once we start making bots, we can start powering things with bots. And we can stop worrying about all of the district woes, because we'll just trap the bots in their own district, and the beavers can do whatever they want with their lives. And everyone lives happily ever after. And of course, charging stations are going to have to be a thing. That's why I left this strip here, was to do charging stations. And that is what we'll do. I will just go ahead and put one there just to start, because I know that's using metal that we kind of have in limited supply. But it is always going to be worth it to make bots, because bots are extremely useful. Just got to get stuff automated as early as we can. Probably should have done it beforehand, but I digress. We haven't quite made the right choices here, but we will get it fixed in due time. So now that this is a thing, this is its own thing. It's in theory operating at some degree of usefulness. We are in fact making way more power than we're using. So don't worry about that. We have the power from both of these banks of large water wheels connected together with the help of our lovely Powershaft tunnels. And that is looking a-okay. We'll just leave this alone for a while. And whenever they get around to building this, when we have enough metal blocks, which could be a while, we will have bots, and that'll be cool when that happens. But now we can kind of move on to the rest of the stuff, because you guys pointed out a couple things I might want to take notice of. Like one of these mangrove growing areas allegedly does not have gatherer flags. It has lumberjacks instead. And I saw that and I said, well, that doesn't sound right, but we're going to check it out. Because it's very possible I made a mistake. I see gatherer flags here. I see gatherer flags here. Yep, those are, I think, yeah, they have to, yeah, they're gatherer flags. Those are gatherer flags. Those are gatherer flags. I think we've already gone all the way around, but I don't know because this all looks the same. Yeah, they all have gatherer flags, so I'm not sure what you were looking at, but they do all, in fact, have gatherer flags. They should have all of their lumberjack flags as well. I mean, it looks good to me. I don't see any discrepancies here. Yeah, same on this side and then that side as well. So I believe we are all good. We're just waiting on, get dizzy looking at this, waiting on all these trees to get planted and harvested. You know how it goes. And I honestly think we're fine. So it's always good to check, though. That's fine. We will get back to that in due time. And I will not, for those of you who are concerned, I will not be attaching the floodgates to these stream gauges in this episode. A couple of you were strangely concerned about me spending video time doing that, but that's fine, I guess. I will probably do that off camera before the next episode, unless there is a substantial revolt in the comments demanding that I do it on camera because you guys like watching pain, in which case I will, I guess, just do that. So, that's fine. But while we're waiting on bot stuff to get taken care of, a couple of you guys had some interesting ideas about power up here. The debate rages on about the value of the mechanical water pumps. Some of you think it's stupid, some of you think it's cool. But it's kind of 50-50, and I'm not sure exactly what I want to do with that. But regarding getting power across this area, I was lamenting the choices I had made with building stuff up here. And then somebody said, you know, why don't you just use the shaft tunnels underneath where the showers are? Which we can do. We can come under here, and we can take our shaft tunnels. I think the 10 wide is... I might have to delete some of this and move it back in. But I can actually, underneath the showers, right here, I have space with the 10 long tunnel to put it up here. I could use the 8. It actually doesn't want to let me use the 8, but underneath the showers, it seems to think that's perfectly fine. So I think that's what I'm going to do. It's pretty much the only place I can because of how the building has to get put in. But if I put power shaft tunnels here, I can actually run this around the outside, etc. For those of you who demand that I quote the whole thing every time, there you go. But what that's going to also do is give us the benefit of not having this in this corner. We can instead move it out to the outside. And that will free up space up here for us to put in platforms to move our barracks all the way to the corner if we so choose. And opens up a couple other opportunities for us. And in addition to that, makes it much easier for us to get power across this way, since it will already be up here. We could just run a vertical over the top here and then figure out some sort of contraption to get it around this way. But I don't know that we need to do that necessarily right now because, again, we're not focusing on the top. I just wanted to take the time while the whole bot fiasco area is getting up to speed to discuss it, and I will allow you the opportunity to leave your feedback in the comments, and that will inform what we end up doing. But I thought that was a cool idea, and I did want to mention that to you guys. That was a very good thinking by those of you in the comments who suggested it. So, how are we looking over here? We are making parts, and we're storing them. We don't have any chassis for some reason, despite that being... Ah! Okay, that's because those need the metal blocks. Yep, no surprise there. We need the blocks to make the bot assembler. Okay. That is very unsurprising. So, one thing we probably should consider is getting scrap metal over here in a much more efficient way. And I was trying to figure out what the best method, strategy, whatever for that would be. Because I would like to try and not have a bunch of stupid-looking bridges everywhere. But if there was a way to make it look like it was actually supposed to be done that way, it could be a fun option for us. We do have right here in this design, have this path come out this way. It would not be the worst thing in the world to just have this go straight across like this in a similar manner to how this is set up. But we also have the opportunity, because of how this comes down. It doesn't have to be stairs like this. It could be ladders. Could be another bridge out to maybe right here and then across higher and then come down. I don't know. We got some options. We're not necessarily married to doing it any specific way, but I figured that might be an interesting idea, interesting opportunity for us to do at least something. But for us to get over here is going to be a little bit of a challenge. We'd have to build a structure anyway. Okay, we've got drought approaching. How are we doing? We got 5,000 water. The droughts in this playthrough are not anything severe. It's just 9 days, as we've been over and over and over. So I guess that's okay. No, we only have 7 kohlrabies, really? I guess that's probably because we don't have this really set up in a way that makes a whole lot of sense. We still do need to have this entire thing set up differently. it really is not not done in a way that makes too much sense. So I know I said we weren't going to do too much out here, but I did want to at least do a little bit. We can afford to have a little bit of kohlrabi planting occur here, so I've thought we might as well just go ahead and pop a little bit in here, give them something to do, because, you know, we do need to have food for the beavers to eat. That's always a good idea. So we should, yeah, 46% done here on our first bot. That's very exciting. And then once we have our first bot, you know what we're going to do is we're going to set him up doing some sort of job down here. He does have a charging station access. This is a historic moment here for our playthrough here in episode 19, finally getting to bots. But that's the fun part of playing the huge map, is you do end up doing things at a different speed. And I guess we're just going to stop at 66% because those guys have to go to bed. That's okay. That's allowed. But I find it interesting that we still don't have a whole lot of heads. I know it's because we don't have enough metal, and we are going to fix that. That's probably going to be the first thing I do, is put a bot in one of those metal smelters. It just makes the most sense, because that's the thing we currently are lacking the most of. And, you know, more metal means we can have more bots, which means we can do more stuff. So on and so forth, and then it just is a feedback loop for all eternity. But I guess we could just sit here and wait for this to get done. Should, assuming these guys get to work at a reasonable time, which might not happen considering how far away they live, this should be done today. Takes another 12-ish hours, and it's a 16-hour workday, and as long as, yep, there's one of them going. There we go, and they're both here. So by the time the day is done, they should be good to go. And we got our eggplant rations down here, chilling in our supply right there, so they can get a snack, even though they're probably going to go all the way to the center of the map and get something else anyway. This is why I don't want to have bio-beavers in faraway districts, because the logistics of getting food and water and everything else is a huge pain, even though they've fixed how the districts operate in the district, I want to call them transfers, district, what is the thing actually called? I don't know why I can't remember, but we have our, there we go. We got a bot. One bot. And where's he going? Anyway, we're going to unlock, send Mitchell Walker back to go do, I don't know, something else. And Beardbot 1, Uno, right here, just chillaxing, making some smelter type stuff. Probably should have a log storage over here, honestly, because these are all scrap metal and metal blocks. We do have the log storage over here, but that is kind of far away. So, you know what? Yeah, it's just going to be easier for us to go ahead and put in a log storage right here, so they don't have to go all over the place trying to find stuff. But that's our first bot, doing metal production things. There's a charger here. We will build more chargers, but they each take metal, and I don't want to use any more of that than I absolutely have to. 34% of the way to the next one, and we are starting to make up all of our other stuff. We have 24 of these limbs because the limbs got off to a head start because of the materials that they use, which I guess is a good thing. So that's going to be a fun thing to keep up with for the rest of the episode while we work on some of our other stuff. But there's only 1 day left until this drought comes in, and our water level has not gone up. It's only gone down. So let's take a moment and check. Yeah, none of these are prioritized by haulers. I think that probably has something to do with what's going on here. So let's just prioritize all of these. And yes, this is, once again, a good opportunity to remind everyone that the prioritization by hauler system in this game is fundamentally broken. And it's binary. It's either it is or it is not prioritized. And if you prioritize everything, you prioritize nothing. Yes, I understand. But the idea is these guys aren't the ones that have to worry about it. Regardless of what kind of mess happens in the hauling process, it just means these guys are not going to prioritize getting the water out of the pump. They can just focus on pumping. But of course, if a hauler is not available, then they still have to do it. But they're not going to, by default, come out and take the water somewhere else. And that is why We have our other stuff here. We just have to make sure stuff is set up in a way that makes a little bit of sense. So we'll just tick these as well. I'm not worried about water. Again, this is going to be a maximum of a 9-day drought. We will not run out of water. But at some point, this does have to become something that makes a little bit more sense. And we will, at some point, have to do that. Oh, hey, guess what? That doesn't have to be there anymore. That can go away. Anything else that's lingering here? I don't think so. I think we've done enough to try to get rid of that. Kohlrabi numbers are rebounding slightly. Canola oil numbers are not. That's something that we probably should be growing over here because of how this this is set up. So I will continue the process of getting these paths a little bit more organized. We've got some work to do with that, and I know it's not exactly ideal how we have a lot of this set up, but we will do what we have to do. Yeah, I think growing canola over here just makes sense because this is where it's going to be used. The presses I know are over here. They will not be over here forever. Don't worry. We're going to get stuff figured out, but we very obviously have a need for additional canola. Wait, why is that? Okay, I guess there's something on the ground they don't want to pick up, but right here will be a good start to have, and I'm actually going to not plant these 3 on the outside, so in case we have to put something else there. But that's going to be a good start. Don't want to give these guys too much to do because it is just the one farmhouse right here. Yeah, we got some work to do figuring this out, but we're not quite there yet. We have another beard bot rather, that can be sent to the smelters, and that's what we will do. Get our metal supply ticking up ever so slowly. It is in the double digits, which is nice. We just kind of need more stuff to happen, more different ways. We've got 35 vacancies. Keep in mind that probably about, where are the, I don't even know where I am. These things. Yeah, that's a lot of those. So it's not as bad as you think it is. Could definitely be worse. But grand scheme of things, I think it is A-okay. Everything is looking pretty good. Just gotta be a little more careful how we have stuff set up so we don't have to be that worried about it. But these guys right here, I'm not going to get rid of them just now because our water supply is not quite where it needs to be. And it never hurts to have them taking care of stuff. But we will be, at some point in the future, be fixing that. I think I used B like 4 times in that statement, but that's okay. How are we looking on our next? We got about another 18 work hours for that to be thing. We will eventually put bots in the bot assembler, but for right now, I think having the metal is a little bit more important. So these 2 will stay here. But maybe the next 2 bots that get made will go into the bot factory itself. I don't know. We'll see. We'll get stuff taken care of. We will also need to put in control towers before we get too far, but in order for that to happen, we have to have a stream of science coming in, which, yes, those of you who love the number crunchers, your time has come. We will be building number crunchers. We're generating so much power down here that it just makes sense to have them. But that's not always going to be the case. I just wanted to go ahead and let you know, yes, we are going to do it, so you don't have to comment saying, oh, you got to build number crunchers, you got to build number. Yeah, we're okay. We're going to do it. It's okay. It's not like the other playthroughs where I didn't want to do them. I'm generating so much power, it would be dumb not to use them. That's not always going to be the case. So just wanted to put that out there. Did they finish all of the bridges around the middle ring? It looks like they did. And now this is fully connected, which is great news. Because now that this is fully connected, that means we can build off of any part of it. And that will work out quite nicely. We are going to want to have connectivity here. So I've been trying to figure out these sawtooth jagged structures. Some of you call them weirs, some of you call them something else, but for drainage purposes, I guess this should be called a weir. Should I leave these the way they are? Should I modify them or whatever? I still have not quite decided, but I do know that to get across here, this will have to have some sort of something filling it in, whether it's just a platform or if I put dirt down here and just eliminate these. I don't really know that that would be the best option, but we have different things we can do. We also probably at some point will want to protect these from the bad tides, so they stop storing the bad water. We might, honestly, we probably don't need to, but from the perspective of, you know, not having this horrendous, ugly orange in the corners all the time, that might be something we want to do. Or we can just blast a little gap here, and then that's that, and it won't collect. But we've just been so wrapped up in everything else, we haven't really been thinking about it. So I do have the one bot ready to go. They're 19% of the way through here, but I think 10,000 science. I think we might as well just go ahead and have Beardbot 3 working by himself to make more bots, and we can slowly start getting the BioBeavers out of this area and then turn it into its own district once it is self-sufficient. Just got to make whatever progress we can. I know it's going to be slower with just the one there, but it means it can work around the clock, and more importantly, they don't have to leave to drink or anything. It just has to go get charged. And we actually do have a decent number of metal blocks ready to go here. So what we had done over here was, this is built on land. Does it have to be this way? Well, no, not really, but I do kind of like this to land in a way that makes sense. It is not required that we build the other bridge here. We could easily come off of here, just like we've done here, but I figured that was a little close to this. Plus, this is a very good straight line path. I thought that might be a smart idea for us to embrace that. The other thing that we could consider, if these are going to be district crossings, is we could, in fact, have this go down and then have the district crossing be here. Because of how this is set up, we have our double platform here, and the bridge actually starts on the platform, but the district crossing building would be in this space here. I don't think that's a terrible idea. We could even have a kind of like a weird tower structure set up here. We might be able to actually play with that a little bit. Yes, lag. Thank you. Autosave. And I will not pause because they are not going to be building this, but just for the sake of argument here, we're going to have our double. They can't get to this. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's not going to be a whole thing. Where's my? There we go. Put my 6x right here, and then so what we would do is, well, first of all, I have to be able to see what I'm doing here. We put our double here, put our double here, and then a single here. Or we could just close this up entirely. I don't think that's a terrible idea. But I do like the idea of having the water just be able to escape wherever it has to whenever this is full. Impeding water flow is always, I think, kind of a dangerous game to play. But, oh wait, this is new. Small gates. Well, sheesh, I should read the update. Okay, this is just the old style district gate that we had before. This is, I think, probably a better option for if we're going to have a bunch of them. But it does only have the one worker versus the 10 right here. I don't know. I feel like if we have enough bots, it's not going to matter. Really should not be that big of a deal. But maybe that's what we do. Maybe that's what we do is we have a couple of the large district crossings in major areas. And then in places that would be convenient to have a passage between districts, we just put the small ones. But I had fully planned on using these big ones to go, like, say, right here. And then we'll go ahead and research it. I know they can't reach this. It's fine. But if we were to do that, I feel like that would be smart. Unless we wanted to do it a different way and have storage like right here for all the stuff that would be going in and out of the district. I mean, it's really not going to be that much for the bot districts, I don't think, because of all the stuff that isn't going to have to come back. I don't know, we got some stuff to think about. Even though they've made the district mechanic easier to use, and we can recognize and appreciate that, it still is not something I really like, because it causes so many different things to have to become problems all at once. And as we all know, that does not frequently work out in my favor. But we do have the option to do this way. I do know, yes, once this becomes a train coming through here, then that will cause some potential issues with pathing. But the Choo-Choo mod does have the crossing track that we can put to go through the other side. I think it doesn't care what you have on the other side. But if we end up putting in like a ladder right here, go all the way up, and then have another thing coming over, I think that's probably another thing being a side platform. That's probably the way we want to do it. So, and again, we're not going to have them build all this. Don't worry. But basically what that would end up being, I would probably have to use reinforced ladders for this. But that's what that would end up being, is we would just have this come over like that. It's not the most majestic thing ever, but it does. It works. It's fine. It's serviceable, and I think that's a little bit of a better thing going on. But like I said, we're not going to be doing that in this one unless we have a whole lot of bots at the end. So you do have time to put in your thoughts in the comments. But if you think this is a smart idea, let me know. If you think it's stupid, you want me to do something else, please also let me know. I always do welcome ideas, even if I'm not sure it's something we're going to use. I do appreciate the input, and I value that, like I always say. So that's just for illustrative purposes, and we'll go ahead and move on with everything else. These guys are making more bot buddies for themselves, and we have a nice collection of limbs and heads and chassis building up over here. So that should be okay. These are still not full because, well, I don't have them prioritized by haulers anyway. But we are making more and more metal blocks, which is good to see. This has logs in there for the smelters. That's working nicely. And I don't think we really have anything else that needs immediate attention right here in the way that would cause us to stop the presses, so to speak. So, what else can we get to right now with regard to bots? We are going to need to have more charging stations, so we can go ahead and queue those up, get those going, build on either side, just so we don't have to be worried about stuff not being connected. These are all connected behind the scenes anyway, so they're going to share power just fine. So we'll have 3 there, and then I will come over here and do the exact same thing. We're going to want to have plenty of those nice and easily accessible. Grand scheme of things, we probably are going to need more than 6 of these smelters if we're going to have as many bots as I think we're going to have to run stuff. But it all depends on what we end up doing and how much industry we still need to maintain over here. Because there's quite a lot. Are we out of power? Did we run out of power? We absolutely did. We ran out of power in our batteries, or well, they're not batteries, they're flywheels. So we need to have more flywheel power. Yes. Should have seen that one coming. Because right now, if you remember, we have underneath our middle thing here, this is all full of horizontal framed flywheels. Together, they will hold about 180,000 is what our current storage is, because I wanted to bury them under here so they would be not out in the open. But one of these large horizontal framed or vertical framed flywheels will store 150 and only lose 1 HPH per hour, which I probably is the wrong unit for me to use. 1 HP per hour. HPH is a everybody argue in the comments again about what HP stands for. Horsepower, Harry Potter 100 Preludes, Hewlett-Packard, whatever you want to call it. Unit of power measurement per hour. We could build one of these. I just don't have a great place to put it that I would be satisfied with. So that's kind of the hard thing about putting these guys in here, is because they take up a lot of space. They look really cool, and you want to see them, but you also don't want it to be in a place that is just going to be, you know, a huge distraction and be super ugly. So that's why I had not done that yet. They can go underwater. So it really doesn't matter. They're not affected by anything. We just have to have a good place to put it. And 5x5 is not really a great size to mesh with a whole bunch of other stuff. So if I were to put it underneath something, it would have to be some other way right here. Now what I can do, I do have the option to come in off of this side and put one of these right here, and then we have our junctions, horizontal junctions that will transfer power over to this guy. Because right now the power is only going to come from the axle, which is right in the middle of the 5x5 side. And that's not going to connect to anything. If I were to come in with these, like we did before, I could just stack 6 of these guys up. But those 6 together are going to lose all that power combined instead of just 1. So in theory, it really shouldn't matter that much. But if you build enough of these things, it's going to stack and it's going to become a much bigger problem. So what we can do is we can detonate down underneath all of this stuff here. These guys are 3 blocks tall. I have currently 4. I would need to blast down 2 levels. I'm not sure I can, but let's check and see. See, this is, that's 2, and I have enough, I believe, to blast down 1 more, which wouldn't really solve my problem with regard to connecting here. That doesn't mean I have to do it that way. It's just a very easy way to do it is just to connect to the end of this. It'll be nice and clean. So maybe that's not what we want to do. I don't know. We got some stuff to think about for sure. We also could very easily just remove a couple more of these things, blast a giant hole, and bury them underground where nobody gets to see them. But they look cool. And I want people to be able to appreciate it. So I kind of want to just put a bunch of these here. We could also just, you know, have a vertical one and put it up on a platform, because this shaft is currently 2 blocks below whatever level it would have to be to intersect. And that honestly is kind of the most interesting way to look at these things as they start rotating with the I don't even know what the correct term is for that type of a gear arrangement. So I won't try to guess and get it wrong. But I just man, it just looks so cool. I want people to, like, you know, appreciate this, because a lot of really cool engineering and stuff went into making this by the illustrious Battery Smooth Beard Booster as well. So appreciate the support there. But yeah, I don't know. We got to figure it out. Obviously, there's no power down here anyway. Oh, thank you, email sound that I always forget to turn off. That just makes me completely infuriated every time it happens, but I never learn anyway. I digress. We got to find somewhere to put a big old whatever this thing's called, flywheel. There you go. So I kind of want to do the vertical ones. Just make a like a big monolith kind of thing somewhere. If we stacked these things, we could. Oh wait, hold on. Did I just solve the problem? I forgot that I can just attach it to the back of this thing. Oh, this is... oh, this is stupid enough to work. I could absolutely put this here. The only problem being, if I want it to actually line up, it would have to be put in a slightly different way. But for right now, it fits the giant, huge, ugly factory vibes. Well, I say ugly as an endearing term, I guess you could say. Oh yeah, look at these guys coming in here. But we're gonna get a lot of power stored, folks. Gonna get a lot of power stored in here. Just put one of these guys in here, and I know we have enough to make all of this work. Just got to get them to bring it on over, get this thing built, and then the more power it stores, the faster it spins, and it just looks so incredibly cool. So the vertical one can definitely do that. We could put another one here, and that's going to leave a little bit of a gap in the middle. But I don't know. We got some options. I also could have just done them in a big array like this, but then I would not have the power transfer as easy. I would have had to build shafts coming out the side or something. which that doesn't mean we're not going to do it that way in the future. This is just an immediate thing to fix this problem, getting all of this put in place. So if you want to see more of these things like in a huge line like this, leave a comment, let me know. And we might do it. Might just do it anyway, even if you don't want it, because I think that looks really cool. But this will immediately solve our problem, just as soon as these start generating power again. And that will be that'll be fun. And of course, all of our bots are out of energy because there's no power, so that's going to be a fun little catch-up time for them. Yes, I know we are very low on water. We will fix that problem. Probably at this point going to be a next episode thing, but yes, I am very much aware that that is an issue. And we have power stored here. Is that still actually? Oh no, the batteries are out of charge. Okay, well, see, this is the kind of reason I wanted the deep mechanical pumps to refill this, because I knew these were going to start running out of water. But I don't know. There's valid reasons to say, hey, these are not necessary. There's valid reasons to say they are necessary. I don't know that it's a complete binary yes or no, we do or do not need them, period, point blank. But I don't know. I think we'll be fine long term. We just have to, get more water in here. Shouldn't be that big of a problem. But I am glad we didn't get rid of these two, because right now they're the only ones that can pump. And that's going to be a fun problem for us to come up with. But what we can do, since we are waiting, is we can come over here and we can put in all of these, since there is water over here. No reason to just sit here and not pump it, right? So there we go. We'll have 8 more there. Just because we don't have everything else set up does not mean, again, that we can't have stuff over here. So we will go ahead, get these in, and let our beavers do what they want to do. Probably should have done this a long time ago, but I digress. Cycle 29 begins. And there we go. How did I have this other thing set up? I had the one, yeah, in the outside corner. All right, we'll do that. We'll build these, give these guys something to do. Set that up to supply, water, etc. Lag. Excellent. We're working on it, folks. We're going to get it fixed. So I'll go here. Yes. Beautiful. Yes, we have 60. 60 vacancies. We're gonna get it going. We'll be just fine. Got to get the water in here to fill everything up again. Why are the... Oh, okay, they came all the way to the center here. Okay, well, that's going to be... I forgot they did that. They just go to the district center when they're out of power. That is kind of an annoying mechanic to deal with. But they will, I guess, eventually make their way back to wherever the thing is. I always forget what side it's on. This side. I need them to come down over here and come get their juice, as the kids say. Because the power is ready. It's ready for them. There they go. They're making the trek, making their way downtown, riding a piano in the street and inspiring decades of internet memes. But now we can see, finally, this will start acquiring power. And look at this. It's charging fast with how much is coming in here. So we'll see. I love watching this, man. If you remember, oh, I forget what number series it was. If it was, might have been 11, or was it was either 11 or it was 13. The one where I first started using the flywheels. I think it might have been 13, over the folktales on the Thousand Islands map. And I was just in awe of how cool this looked. I still am. It's just such a cool looking thing. Really, really something else. So we'll of course come back and check on this later. But we'll get these bots in here charging. Looks like they already are. And then go back to their jobs and we'll be able to make more bots. So now that they are 92% of the way to making BeardBot 5. I think it's BeardBot 5, unless BeardBot... no, we still have BeardBot 1. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put another bot assembler right next door. And what we will do with this one is we will also set that to be staffed by bots. Now that we have the 5, the 5th one can come over here and take care of all that just as soon as it's done. And we'll be able to make bots faster and faster and faster and faster. Although we did use a lot of our metal to make the super cool large vertical framed flywheel. Say that one 5 times fast. So, gotten a lot of good stuff done today. We're not quite done. Not quite finished. But we are going to start wrapping it up here in a little bit. Again, if you forgot, I do want your opinions about having the Powershaft tunnels go underneath the showers here. I think it's a good use of space. I thought it was a good idea. And it is a plausible use for the tunnel because it will be on the ground and not on a platform across a path. So those of you who are on the train of that's cheating to do that, to use a tunnel above a path where it doesn't actually touch anything, then I believe that satisfies that that issue. And it is actually going to go under the ground, so that's fine. And that, of course, will allow us to have this entire thing connected much easier and continue building more of our housing and have a nicer setup for all of this stuff. So I think that'll be cool. I'm not sure if that's what we're going to do or not. We might still keep these here specifically because of the spacing issues that I inadvertently caused by putting this this little bit here if we want it to be symmetrical. But I always do welcome your feedback, and your input is legitimately valued. So please do not hesitate to get those opinions down below. I will read all of them, like I do always say. So let's, I'm not going to put, oh no, I have enough blanks. We can do this. I'm going to just go ahead and decorate these guys because they're already here. But we'll do some of this other fun stuff, of course. I believe we haven't really changed this yet, but I think I kind of want to. Just get rid of those. Plenty of beavers here. Flame of Unity, 4-sided thing in the corner. Should help us out substantially. Give them something to do. And we have, well, we have 10,000 water storage anyway. That should be plenty for 300 beavers. We'll let them build. Got plenty of building to accomplish here. So we have, I always go the wrong stinking way. We have both of these operating now. Yes, we do. And this is going faster and faster and faster. Yeah, I like this. I probably am still going to rotate this 90 degrees and do some sort of a connection on the ends. But man, does that look cool. I love the design of this, and I want to see a whole line of these things just going ham, just like super fast spinning. So I think that'll be fantastic. So we have, I think, like I said, we have enough to support 4 of these. Metal-wise, you know what? You know what? Let's just go ahead and build the other 2 of these. So we can have 4 and just let them do what they've got to do. And of course, I will have this replaced with ladders. I guess I should go ahead. I'm only pausing because it's going to cause mass chaos. I want this to be done as fast as possible. But let's get those in place so that way they can go either way, up or down, and not have to worry about going all the way to the end to go up and then back. So that should help substantially. Things are looking good. Water supply is going back up. In addition to the power shaft tunnels or bridges, I also, remember, would like your opinions on our district crossing or district gate thing we have going on over here. I do think I want it to be in these corners right here. That's going to make it a little bit easier. Of course, once these are separated into districts, this will probably also have to get redone that way to have district crossings here. Or maybe these become the full-size district crossings. We redo this to be ladders or whatever, and then these on the outside become the small gates. That could be an option too. But if you like the idea that I had, please let me know. If you don't, let me know something you'd like to see instead, and we will attempt to figure out what's going to work best for our purposes. And other than that, we're just about out of time. Of course, we have plenty of other things we can do. We can get the rest of these corners. Why are you still here, Michelle Tipton? You can go do something else. Yeah, these extra lumberjack flags, I forgot, aren't really necessary. There's still plenty to get here, so that's fine. These beavers over here are going to be A-okay to do what they want to do. So we'll get all of that figured out. We'll start splitting stuff up into other districts next episode. once we have enough bots, which we are slowly working toward. And don't forget, I did say that we're going to do number crunchers, control towers, grease factories, etc., but we're not quite there just yet. We will be hopefully soon. We just have to get everything else taken care of. And of course, our bot assemblers still have to be built, but they are marked for actual bots to be working there, so that should become an interesting explosion of bots once all 4 of these are running. And I might even end up having more than 4. Because we're going to have to move all of our industrial production down there. And especially if we can get wood figured out, then that would be nice to be able to have all that storage down here. But that all sounds like stuff that would be great in the next episode as we, well, at least on my recording software, across the hour mark, it could be slightly shorter because of loading time. But yeah, that I think is going to be a great place to leave it. We have bots. We are actually producing bots, and we are starting to bot some of the buildings. It's not really man. Well, it's not manning if they're beavers anyway. They're beavers. They're not men. Or maybe beavers use the term man colloquially because of... Anyway, I digress. It's completely irrelevant. So we'll go ahead and start getting you out of here. Well, I guess we can sit here and watch them build this and observe the magnificent flywheel at work. But yep, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch these videos, and especially engaging in the comments and giving me input, because as I always say, this is a Let's Play series. It is not a watch me play. I do value your input, and I try to integrate it whenever I can, whenever it's something that's going to make sense, add value to what we're doing, and improve the overall product that we are creating together. So, of course, beard boosters as well. All of their support makes it possible to keep doing this and keep the annoying, ridiculous YouTube sponsorship integrations out of here. I really do not want to sell you guys garbage you don't need, or services that really aren't any good either. So those of you who contribute are very, very much appreciated. Never obligated. Never, ever obligated. But it really does make a huge difference in my life and makes it possible for me to do this, as well as a lot of other things in the real-life sphere that are very, very much needed. It really gives me a whole lot of comfort and security knowing that there are people who care a whole lot about what we're doing here and want to make it possible for it to continue, and for me to be able to take care of my needs as well. So, again, very, very much appreciated. And I appreciate you also just as much, even if you're not part of that. Again, you're never ever obligated to be. I'm just glad you're here. Glad we get to spend some time together, and I hope we'll see you again soon. We got another Folktales episode coming tomorrow, and then Saturday I'm gonna do my best to get another video up for Saturday. Probably continuing the Workers and Resources Soviet Republic campaign playthrough. Got maybe one other episode after this next one to get through all that, and then we'll decide if we want to do a full series on that game or not. But I digress. That's quite enough of my my rambling here at the end of the video. So whatever it is you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun, and we'll look forward to seeing you again soon in another video. Bye-bye.